What's up, everyone? Mr. NoobTube Gamer. Today we're playing Battlefield 5 in 2024, one of the most divisive games in the Battlefield series. There are some people that love this game, a lot of people that hate it. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I don't hate the game as much as I thought I did when it first came out. I do appreciate it more over the years, especially after Battlefield 2042 and the shit show that game was. But I still wouldn't rank it anywhere close to my favorite Battlefield games of all time. It's got to be towards the bottom of the list still. And the gunplay is probably the best that we've ever seen in the Battlefield series, but the overall presentation, it being a World War II game, but there is no iconic World War II battles in this game at all. It's all just like these lesser known World War II battles, which I guess, that's obviously what they were going for, and they were trying to be a little bit different, but it just didn't work. People weren't as invested in it, and it just wasn't a very immersive World War II experience. I know you could also say that Battlefield 1 was not an immersive World War I. I'll agree with that, but this was just on a whole nother level where you had the lady with the robot arm, like that whole trailer that was just so ridiculous. It definitely turned a lot of people away. And I know the whole inclusion of women was a controversial thing because realistically, there weren't a whole lot of women that fought in World War II. In certain armies, there, like the Red Army, there were a lot of women that fought there and other ones, but you could play as a woman in the German army. It was so ridiculous. The Nazis wanted women to stay in the kitchen and make babies. They didn't want them fighting in a war. So it really kind of whitewashed the history of World War II for the sake of being more inclusive, and because of that, the game didn't resonate with as many people as others in the Battlefield series. That being said, there's still a lot of people that enjoy this game and play it in 2024. You still have plenty of full servers of Conquest, Breakthrough, Rush, Team Deathmatch, pretty much all the game modes. You get full servers in almost every region, too. You get American servers, European servers, Japanese servers. So you should have no problem connecting to games no matter where you live. Maybe if you're in Africa or South America or something like that, then you may have a hard time. But otherwise, it should be good. I've heard stuff about cheaters and how they're all over the place in every server. Every time I play, I never really have any cheaters in my shit. I never really experienced that. So yeah, I think people are kind of over-exaggerating it because I think I definitely would notice if people are hacking and ruining my shit. Black Ops 3 is a good example of a game that is just completely ruined by cheaters. Every single game, you have people with invincibility, aim bots, and all that shit. I don't really have any of that on Battlefield 5 for PC. That's the version I play, but if you want to be safe, if you have access to the PS4 and Xbox One version, I know that there are absolutely no cheaters on console, so that may be the best version for you to play, but I'm just going to say from my own experience on PC, I have no problems whatsoever. One thing that kind of does go against this game, it being, something that you want to play in 2024, is that there is no crossplay. This game came out right before crossplay became a mainstream thing for all video games. Battlefield 2042 has it, but Battlefield 5 does not, and obviously every Battlefield before also doesn't have it. So, if you're on Xbox and you have a friend that's on PlayStation, you guys want to play some Battlefield, this is not the game for you. Unfortunately, 2042 is your only option. Honestly, Battlefield 5 feels like a game that came out 10 years after 2042. Between the gunplay and the overall experience, it just feels better. Even the graphics look better, honestly, than 2042. That game looks and plays like absolute dog shit. This game has probably some of the best gunplay you'll ever have in any first-person shooter. That's one thing that I can definitely say for certain, even though I'm not a huge fan of Battlefield 5. You just can't, objectively speaking, you can't deny how amazing the weapons feel and how responsive they are in this game. The vehicles are also a lot of fun to use. I think they're pretty solid also. The map design, honestly, I think that's another weak spot of this game. Some of the maps that we got during the beginning of this game's life cycle were honestly not that great. They really didn't start making good maps until, ironically, towards the end of the game's support. When they started to move on to Battlefield 2042, I think the Pacific update was the last big update that we got, and that map was honestly amazing. All that content we got from the Pacific update was just fantastic. And honestly, I think if they kept up with that, if we had another year or two of support for Battlefield 5, it actually would be among the greatest Battlefield games of all time. Kind of like Star Wars Battlefront 2. At first, that game sucked. But with all the updates and all the content they were adding over time, it ended up becoming an amazing game. Battlefield 5 could have been like Battlefront 2, but they decided to kill the game and move on to 2042, which was obviously a mistake. They could have at least built off of the foundation that they laid down with Battlefield 5 with 2042, but they just didn't. The gunplay is a downgrade, the map design is obviously a downgrade, everything is just so much worse in 2042 than Battlefield 5. Even some of the new mechanics that they laid out with BF5, I really loved how you can build sandbags and you can actually build structures instead of just destroying them. But we didn't have that in 2042, which was just so weird. That honestly felt like something that could have become a main feature for all future Battlefield games. It was a really great addition to the series, and I don't know if we're going to have it again, but that was honestly something in BF5 that I thought was implemented very well. And the teamwork is also another great job that they did with BF5, like just how seamlessly you can give ammo and health to your teammates. So with all that being said, I probably would recommend you play this game in 2024, especially if you've never played it before and you played like almost all the other Battlefield games, never played this one. Even 6 years later, it's still a pretty solid experience. I mean, the gameplay still feels great. There's still a very large community. I think there are more people playing this game than Battlefield 2042 and a lot of the other, pretty much every other Battlefield game. I actually think most people are playing BF5. Maybe BF1 has a little bit more, but it's one of the most played Battlefield games even to this day. If only the game had more content released for it and crossplay implemented, it would be a perfect game to play in 2024. Either way, I think there's fun to be had with this game, and you should give it a try. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of Battlefield 5 and if you still play it in 2024.